Last time on the Fisticuffs Friday, OutlawClient battled his way through 4 rounds of torture, narrowly escaping death. Will Outlaw reach the end of his battles? Will he achieve victory? And will he stop doing this stupid voiceover? Find out this episode of Fisticuffs Friday. How's it going, everyone? And welcome back to this week's Fisticuffs Friday. Now, as you saw last week, I managed to get through the last 4 matches, and now I'm moving on to our next match. Now, we're currently up against Team Resident Evil plus She-Hulk. To be honest, Resident Evil was one of those big title games, but unfortunately I haven't even played a single one of the Resident Evil games. Yeah, I know I just lost all 5 of my subscribers. But actually no, I tell a lie, I have played Resident Evil 5, but it was only a demo, and yeah, I think my subscribe count has gone into negative views, because I didn't think it was too bad. But no, I'll definitely look into it one day. I've heard that Resident Evil 4 is an absolutely amazing game, and that is what most people consider Resident Evil's peak. But yeah. Oh, so anyway, last week when I was explaining a few of the mechanics, I didn't quite mention the super bars at the bottom. Now, the super bars will actually, they play quite a big role in this game, and they will fill up as you do more combos. So, as you can see there at the bottom of the screen, every time I get hit, or every time I do a combo, it fills up. But it fills up at a slower pace when you're getting hit. So that's something to keep in mind. But what they do is they allow you to use a super move. So some characters actually have level 1 moves. Well, no, all characters have level 1 moves, but some characters have level 3 moves, and sometimes some characters have 2 level 3s. Well, that's only in the case of Strider, and a single level 1. And 2 level 1s and so on. But basically every time you use a super, it will either use 1 or 3 of the meters depending on which move you use, and it's really effective because it allows for a lot more damage to be done to the enemy, even as chip damage. And chip damage is pretty much damage that's done to you while you're blocking. But yeah, I usually recommend to do it when finishing off a combo, because after you finish off, well, if you do it at the end of a combo, then you can sort of chain it into the combo, so it'll be doing extra damage. So yes, something good just to keep in mind, just in case. Now, when you see me getting hit sometimes and the enemies are putting too much pressure on me, you'll see something that I use, which is called an advanced block. And what this does is it basically pushes the enemy away from you once you press 2 attack buttons. So this will pretty much relieve the pressure if the enemy's getting too up close and personal. But yeah, it's a very, very handy move to use there, and I recommend using it as much as possible. Now, right here you're seeing the second reason as to why Sentinel is hated. It's mostly because of his X Factor, and when Sentinel goes into X Factor, he becomes extremely quick and like twice as powerful. It's just ridiculous sometimes. Even as a Sentinel player, I admit that it's a bit ridiculous sometimes, but it's been balanced out a bit more, so it's not too bad in this game. And here we have in the match is a very, very close game. Luckily Chris used X Factor at the wrong moment, and I just managed to edge ahead with that one hit. But if he had hit me even one more time, I'm pretty sure I would have been dead. But there we go, I got off lightly there. I got a get out of jail free card there, but I'll take it anyway. And here we have the final boss, Galactus, aka Destroyer of Planets. Now the thing about this fight is that it takes place in 2 parts, and the first part is that Galactus will send out one of his silvery minions, like I was talking about before, the one that has Taskmaster's skin. But he'll send out 2 of these minions. It starts off with 1 actually, but then eventually he'll send out another one, which you might see in a second. Oh, there we go. And there's another minion there. Now the thing about this is that it can get very, very cheap very quickly, because if you're facing in the opposite direction and the other minion jumps behind you, there is absolutely no way of blocking, so your best bet is just to try and keep them in front of you. And now we're on to the big boy, Galactus. Now, the thing is, Galactus is huge of course, but he's honestly not as difficult as he looks. shouldn't be intimidated by his big looks, because the thing is, if you memorize his attacking patterns, it really isn't too difficult. The thing that I've found is try to stay in the air as much as possible, because I'd say at least 50% of his attacks, or if not more than 50%, like maybe 75% of his attacks seem to only do damage at the bottom half of the screen. So if you keep on jumping up and attacking, and just really looking to double check and see if he's going to attack high, but most of the time he will attack low, so just try and stay up in the air and attack his head. As you can see, he's just repeating this exact same move, and I still get hit by it. But that move that you see there, what he's doing, never let him fully charge that move, or else your character will be dead. But luckily, if you manage to get enough hits in, it will disable his attack, and you will be able to beat him. As you can see there, I got very lucky there. But yeah, like I was saying, just try and memorize as many of his moves as possible, and it shouldn't be too difficult after that. I know I usually say that. Well, I'm actually quite surprised that I took him out quite easily, because usually I'm getting battered. Usually, especially with the first stage, usually I'm getting battered around because, you know, 2 minions at once. It's just crazy. But that's the end of Galactus, and now we have Taskmaster's ending. The funny thing is that if you, well, you can select the ending that you want by, well, the ending is selected depending on which character hits Galactus last. So say for example Taskmaster, well, as you just saw Taskmaster hit him last, then his ending will actually play, which is actually very helpful if there's a character's ending that you want to see, a character that you don't really like. So you can just pretty much do 95% of the damage with your main, and then just switch over straight to the character that you don't like just to get the final hit. But yeah, that's the end of Marvel vs. Capcom, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Not a very long game, but you know, let's be honest, multiplayer is where it's at. Just like Halo, fighting games, most of the time the replay value comes from the multiplayer. So you can have quite a bit of fun on the online mode. It's not too bad. But anyway, if you like this video, please comment, like and subscribe. This has been OutlawClient, and I'll see you later.